Hey guys, before we jump into part 2 of the Bass Cat video, just note here, we've had a Spark Energy winner, 6th place at the second tournament at Bass Champs this year. That's the South Division's first tournament at Falcon. Mark, I hope I get this right, Biondi, junior and senior, finished 6th place. They were Spark customers. They won $2,750. They won more money than 3rd place because they're Spark customers. Congratulations to those guys. Remember, you can go to my the link below and sign up for our free giveaways that start here actually a week from today. And then I got to point out one other thing. This has got to be that. So there weren't very many fish caught. 105 teams, 66 fish. Look at the average size fish caught. A 4-pounder, over 4 pounds was the average size fish. So it looks like the fishing was really tough, but if you got a bite, it was a pretty dang good one. Amazing. By the way, I didn't realize there was a Strike King tackle store right here in Zavala, Texas. Holy cow! All right, so let's talk about the holes and props and what they do.
Just talking to different people and reading a little bit. What ended up occurring was the faster you can turn this prop at the bottom end, the more horsepower that engine is making. So to get that RPM, you have extra exhaust to allow this prop to slip.
All right, so back up. So explain to guys what that is, the single holes.
So the single hole is the normal holes that come with the prop. And then this is either a 5/16 or a 3/8 inch diameter hole, which allows exhaust gases to escape, not only here, but just the extra added exhaust will increase cavitation.
So what happens when you're running down the lake, guys, is the exhaust actually goes through the prop. But at hole shot, this is designed to spit exhaust over the edge of this blade, and the reason it does that is, quite frankly, it makes it cavitate.
Yes.
It allows it to spin up faster. So that's why you see some guys plug holes, some guys unplug holes. Now, I'm not a prop expert, but my understanding is it doesn't matter if every prop hole is empty or full once you're at speed. It doesn't matter at all.
It does not matter at all.
Because it's almost literally sucking the exhaust through the center of the prop.
Yes.
So this only matters at the hole shot.
At the hole shot.
And so you've discovered by adding, you have this done, right?
Yes. I have that done by my prop guy, who's Ronnie Gilbert in Lafayette, Louisiana. It's actually Broussard, Louisiana. But
Broussard.
You know, he's fairly well known in the Bass Cat world for sure.
So that allows you to gain RPMs faster and roll your boat up on the. And it's not because the boat has a problem with the hole shot. It's because you're trying to run a bigger prop to go faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the theory behind it.
Interesting. I have never seen anybody do that before.
So that's the reason I could turn a 27 on this, is I had holes in it. I don't have the 27. I sold it because I don't think I'll ever use it again. But that was the theory behind it. I could run a 27 on this boat and get out of the hole. But I think it's because of the extra exhaust.
Interesting. And you said something earlier that I had never really thought about as well. We were talking about speed and RPMs. And you have a theory that if you're running, let's just make a number up. Say you can run 70 with a 24 pitch, turning 6,000 RPMs, or 70 with a 25 pitch, turning 5,800. Do you believe you get better mileage?
I think you can get better fuel economy at the 50 with the bigger prop or the.
That makes sense to me at some level.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
And it all has to do with prop slip.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't know what prop slip is, you actually go to the Mercury Racing website and there's a bunch about it. Yes. But it basically is, so by design, I hope I get this right, a 27 pitch prop says for every time that prop makes a circle, it should push your boat forward 27 inches.
That's exactly
which
right.
Does not happen, right?
That's exactly
and
right.
And so the more you have slippage, you go from 27 pitch prop pushing you 22 inches is X amount of prop slip. And you can actually figure out your prop slip. There's a calculator on the Mercury website, and you go in there, you put in what prop you're turning, the RPMs you're turning, and the speed you're turning, and it'll tell you what your prop slippage is. And what you'll find is a Bass Cat, for example, has much lower prop slippage than what my Ranger does.
That's exactly.
And an Allison has less prop slippage than what a Bass Cat does. and that's all load, width, you know, the mass you're pushing. It's all those things. But that's interesting. I'm always curious when I see stuff like that. I had never seen that before, so I thought you guys might enjoy that as well. So, and by the way, guys, I'm just going to say you can't go out to the garage and get your DeWalt screwdriver or your DeWalt driver out and drill a hole in a stainless steel prop.
No.
I'm thinking that's a special,
especially a Fury prop, because it's even harder than your normal stainless steel prop.
Ain't gonna happen. All right, guys, next time y'all see us, we'll be somewhere on Sam Rayburn riding around in a Bass Cat boat. Hopefully we get the weather to do it tomorrow. By the way, I neglected to mention this. At first glance, that drain seems in the wrong place to me. But what you'll note is, and it's probably hard to see on a screen, but the floor is sloped everywhere. So that's the putt, the only putt on a golf course I could make every single time. That floor is sloped from the sides and from the back to that drain, so that it gathers the water, and that's a great big drain as well. So I just commented. So by the way, good afternoon. January 1, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
January 1, 2021. So we've both been out here today, and between us, how many fish have we caught?
0.
Boom, 0.
We all over it.
It is an ugly, ugly day. But if you're going to go test ride a bass boat, this is the day to do it. It ain't the slick, calm day.
No.
Let's go bouncing around a little bit. Don't lose your phone here. So we are a lot of fuel.
A lot of fuel. Somewhere between probably around 55 gallons.
Yep. How much does this thing hold?
It holds somewhere between 60 and 62.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's a ginormous tank. So we'll do a 3/4 tank, full, whole shot. What are we turning, 24?
24 stock.
24 stock, no extra holes drilled in it. Y'all didn't hear me there, but I made the comment to Phil, the nose really rides up really good. This is nasty. I'm gonna pull the cover off and we'll film a little more. All right. So we got, what would you say, that's a 1.5 foot? Yeah. Chop?
1.5 foot.
It's smooth rough. What we talked about in a boat. He can control that nose, and he's got got it actually motor lift a little bit, but at a really low speed, he's got nose control, so he doesn't rinse me off. If you don't want to rinse me off, I'll gripe about it, cry. Alright, so we're live wells full, same thing, still got a whole bunch of gas in here, and we're going to whole shot it. You saw us back into that wind run 73 and a half, so we were hoofing them. So we're going to make a similar run here, zipped up, buttoned up. Guys, there's a great story of me outrunning a bunch of guys at Toledo Bend in one of my Skeeters years ago. We got all the way, I ran every boat I could see down, and we got down to 6 Mile. My co-owner said, "Holy cow, you ran everybody down. How fast is this boat?" And I said, "We were running 67.2. So we just ran into the wind, live well full, 3/4 tank of fuel, which I would call absolute tournament conditions. 73.5 or 73.6. And I may have to dub this because I may not have great audio, but that's legit hooking them. I mean, that's legit getting after it. So I want to drive it just for a minute now out of pure curiosity, but I saw what I wanted to see. Down seas, cross seas, both directions, back into the wind. I'll finish my comments, but that's a good riding boat. I'm real impressed with the boat, so I'm going to drive it. Guys, so I turned off the camera and I took the wheel, and partly I wanted to run it downwind, same conditions, live wells full, gas tank almost full, and just to see how easy it would drive. But I'll also tell you, I drove it 75.1 back downwind, so that's a legit 74 mile an hour, legit tournament loaded bass boat. That's really not. I think the Blazer is in that same speed range, but I don't. From what I've seen, none of the rest of these boats have been. Look, I've had guys send me messages, "Oh, my boat's a lot faster." All I can tell you is what I've observed in these boats with a true tournament load, not half live wells, not a quarter of a tank of gas. I mean, my boat will run 70 if I trick it out right. So that's my take on the performance from a speed standpoint. Now, this was something that we talked about in the first video, and I've gotten a ton of feedback about this. I saw a couple of places I felt like needed attention in this boat, and one of them was the very front end. And I understand they want to give guys the ability to put that foot pedal really far forward. And although I don't like it, I've not fished out of a Bass Cat, I like the idea of being further back. I understand why some guys like that, and because of that, it's really not giving you a great place to flush mount a graph up front. So I guess if they're going to continue to have that option of moving that foot pedal up and back, they're not going to have a place to really flush mount a graph up there. And this is one of the solutions, and I think you can tell I can't read it as I'm editing this, but this is one of the solutions for double stacking units. This is from a friend at Rayburn, and I know that Hank Cherry just put up his boat video the other day showing how he's done his. So there are some good solutions to do that where you can stand left or right foot side of the trolling motor pedal if you pull it back, and still have room on that front deck. So thanks for all the feedback, guys, and all the pictures you sent me. I felt this one probably reflected kind of how that's set up the best. Okay guys, so we are relatively the same amount of fuel in both tanks. It's incredibly stable with the power poles down. And oh me, not gonna hit bottom. Nope. All right, so standing center line. Make sure that back camera's recording. Bear with me, guys. Oh, I fell down. All right, so standing on the center line of the boat. And remember, it's a there's a single console, so 0.4, 0.5 degrees list, which I'm gonna guess is to that side, all the way to this side. 1.8, 1.9 list over here, which you would expect a little bit more because I got a console over here. By the way, if you didn't remember when we looked in the sump back there, it's 2 batteries, 2 batteries. So they've weighted the boat properly. 2.1 is what it's holding at right there. And this is what we were talking about yesterday. This is actually a pretty easy step, deck to deck, something we didn't talk about in other boats. All the way to this side. What's that say? You can't read it, can you? Well, there's the number. You guys can read it. And all the way to the port side. I will tell you, and I'd have to go back and look at the footage, but that is significantly more stable than the Puma Hybrid. But it's a wider boat, and it's a different hull design boat, so it's a stable boat. You could probably rock it off a tree though if you got on top of one. Not that there's any in Rayburn anymore. So Phil was telling me yesterday he saw a guy running. Was it in the canyons? In the canyon. Saw the guy run all the way in there, and when he shut it down, it went hump. So he hit one of the speed bumps in the canyon somewhere. We don't know if he tore his stuff up or not, but he sure enough hit one. I hit one pretty good this morning on the north end of the deer stand. I said, okay, that's far enough to run. So, yeah. All right, guys, so that's part 2 for the Bass Cat Lynx. I'm impressed with the boat. There's a couple things I would certainly like to see changed in the boat, a couple options that aren't available in the boat, but we'll get to the grading of that boat here on Thursday. I'll get that up, if not sooner. And I've got the last bit of the Falcon. I got down and got in the 21 TE, so I've got that done as well. I just got to get it edited up, and I'll have it up for you real quick. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll be back real quick with some more boat reviews and some fishing.